the Arabian Peninsula, a vast expanse of desert scorched by the unrelenting sun. Towering sand dunes stretch towards the horizon, their crests rippling in the desert winds. But this harsh land is no desolate wasteland. It is a land of hidden oases, bustling trading centers, and ancient cultures. The Arabian Peninsula sits at the crossroads of three continents: Africa, Asia, and Europe. This strategic location has made it a vital bridge for trade for millennia. Caravans laden with silk, spices, and precious metals traversed its unforgiving terrain, connecting the empires of the East and West. This constant flow of people and goods brought with it a vibrant mix of cultures, languages, and ideas. It was in this melting pot of ancient civilizations that the story of pre-Islamic Arabia unfolded. The pre-Islamic Arabian world was a tapestry of diverse faiths and beliefs. While polytheism was the dominant religious practice, the peninsula was also home to communities of Jews, Christians, and Zoroastrians. Each faith contributed to the rich cultural and religious landscape of the time. Polytheistic Arabs worshipped a pantheon of gods and goddesses, each associated with specific aspects of nature, life, and death. These deities were often represented by idols housed in shrines scattered across the land. Among the most important were Al-Lat, Al-Uzza, and Manat, representing fertility, power, and destiny. At the heart of the Arabian pantheon stood the Kaaba, a cube-shaped structure located in Mecca. Believed to be a sacred house built by Abraham, the Kaaba served as a focal point for religious pilgrimage and tribal gatherings. Its importance transcended tribal boundaries, drawing Arabs from across the peninsula to pay homage to their gods. In the unforgiving environment of the Arabian Peninsula, survival depended on the strength of social bonds. Tribalism was the bedrock of pre-Islamic Arabian society, shaping every aspect of life from birth to death. Tribes, often nomadic, roamed the desert in search of grazing land for their herds. These groups were bound by kinship, with loyalty to one's clan taking precedence over all else. The patriarch, the sheikh, held considerable authority, mediating disputes and making decisions that affected the entire tribe. Honor and reputation were paramount in this society. An insult to one's tribe or family could easily escalate into a blood feud, a cycle of violence that could last for generations. Poetry, often recited around campfires, played a crucial role in preserving tribal history, extolling the virtues of bravery, generosity, and loyalty. Despite the harsh realities of desert life, pre-Islamic Arabia fostered a rich and vibrant cultural heritage. Poetry in particular flourished as a powerful form of expression. It was through poetry that Arabs recorded their history, celebrated their heroes, and explored the depths of human emotion. Poets, highly esteemed within their tribes, possessed the power to move hearts and minds with their words. They immortalized the bravery of warriors, the beauty of the desert landscape, and the pain of lost love. Their verses, often memorized and recited, served as a repository of collective memory and cultural identity. The most celebrated poems were the Mu'allaqat, or the Suspended Ones, a collection of 7 odes considered masterpieces of Arabic literature. These poems, said to have been hung on the Kaaba as a testament to their brilliance, offer a glimpse into the soul of pre-Islamic Arabia. Section 5. Echoes in stone and clay. While the desert sands have swallowed up much of pre-Islamic Arabia's material culture, archaeological discoveries continue to shed light on the artistic achievements of this era. From intricate rock carvings to delicate pottery, these artifacts offer glimpses into the daily lives, beliefs, and artistic sensibilities of the people who created them. Rock art, found throughout the peninsula, provides a fascinating window into the past. Carvings depict scenes of hunting, dancing, and religious rituals, offering valuable insights into the daily lives and spiritual beliefs of ancient Arabians. These images, etched into the rock for millennia, serve as silent witnesses to a bygone era. Pottery shards, unearthed at various archaeological sites, reveal a tradition of skilled craftsmanship. Intricate designs, geometric patterns, and stylized animal figures adorn these vessels, reflecting the aesthetic sensibilities of their creators. These fragments of the past offer tangible evidence of the creativity and artistry that flourished in this ancient land. Life in pre-Islamic Arabia was a constant struggle against the harsh realities of the desert environment. Oases, scattered across the arid landscape, provided a lifeline, offering water, shade and fertile land for cultivation. These verdant pockets, bursting with life, became centers of population and trade. Date palms, a staple crop, provided food, shade and building materials. Their fruit, a valuable source of nourishment, could be eaten fresh, dried or pressed into a sweet syrup. Other crops, such as wheat, barley and vegetables, flourished in the irrigated fields surrounding the oases, supporting a settled agricultural population. These oases, connected by a network of trade routes, became hubs for commerce and cultural exchange. Merchants, artisans and travelers converged on these bustling centers, bringing with them news, ideas and goods from distant lands. The oases, vibrant centers of human activity, stood in stark contrast to the vast emptiness of the surrounding desert. Trade was the lifeblood of pre-Islamic Arabia. Caravans, laden with goods from distant lands, traversed the peninsula, following ancient routes that crisscrossed the desert. These caravans, often composed of hundreds of camels and their Bedouin guides, were a familiar sight, their progress eagerly anticipated by those who relied on them for their livelihood. Frankincense and myrrh, aromatic resins prized for their fragrance and medicinal properties, were among the most sought-after commodities. Extracted from trees that grew in the southern Arabian Peninsula, these luxury goods were highly valued in the ancient world, traded as far afield as Rome, Greece and Egypt. The trade routes that snaked across the Arabian desert were more than just conduits for goods. They were also channels for the exchange of ideas and cultural influences. Merchants returning from their journeys brought with them tales of distant lands, different customs and new religious beliefs. This constant flow of information contributed to the cosmopolitan character of pre-Islamic Arabian society. By the 6th century CE, the Arabian Peninsula was on the cusp of profound change. While trade had brought prosperity to some, many lived in poverty and exploitation. Tribal rivalries, often fueled by competition for resources and prestige, erupted into violence, disrupting trade and sowing discord among the people. The gap between the rich and the poor widened, leading to social unrest and resentment. The traditional values of honor and generosity, once the bedrock of Arabian society, seemed to be eroding under the pressures of greed and materialism. A sense of moral and spiritual decline pervaded the land, leaving many longing for a return to a more just and equitable society. The presence of monotheistic faiths, such as Judaism and Christianity, also challenged the dominance of polytheism. These religions, with their emphasis on the oneness of God, social justice and the equality of all people, resonated with those who yearned for a more spiritual and ethical way of life. Pre-Islamic Arabia, a land of stark contrasts and complex social structures, stood at a crossroads. The old order, with its tribal rivalries, social inequalities and spiritual uncertainty, was crumbling. The stage was set for the emergence of a new faith, one that would unite the disparate tribes of Arabia under a common banner and spread rapidly across the globe. It was in this context, in the bustling trading center of Mecca, that the Prophet Muhammad received his first revelation. His message, a call to monotheism, social justice, and the rejection of idolatry, resonated deeply with the people of Mecca, particularly the poor and marginalized. Islam, with its emphasis on the equality of all believers and the importance of community, offered a powerful antidote to the social ills that plagued Arabian society. The rise of Islam transformed the Arabian Peninsula, uniting its fractious tribes under a single faith and a new political order. The teachings of Islam spread rapidly, carried by devout followers who sought to share its message of peace, justice, and submission to the will of God. Pre-Islamic Arabia, with its rich tapestry of beliefs, complex social structures, and vibrant cultural expressions, laid the groundwork for the emergence of one of the world's major religions.